What's up guys, it's Instinct here, and today I'll be showing you guys how to make a 3D logo in Cinema 4D in Photoshop. Now if we could get 10 likes on this video, that'd be absolutely insane, so without further ado, let's start the video. So what you guys want to do is you guys want to open up Cinema 4D. Now once Cinema 4D is opened, you guys just want to open up your Lightroom. Now I am using Vortex's Lightroom. I will link that in the description below so you can check that out. Also, I'm using Material Pack. I will link that in the description as well. And the last thing you will need for this tutorial is the plugin for Cinema 4D. It's called Nitroblast. I'll leave a link in the description on how you can get that as well. So once you have all these things, go ahead and just click MoGraph and click MoText. Now this will make your text. Now you can go ahead and change the text to whatever you want. So I recommend using the first letter of your channel name, but for me, I'm just going to use S. I would normally use I, but I don't like I just want to use S for an example. Now usually what I do is I change the depth to 60 centimeters, and I usually change the font to Blow Brush. Now you can use whatever font you like, but I really like using Blow Brush for these. So next what you want to do is you guys want to click caps and change these both to fillet caps. Once you have done that, go ahead and change these to 1 centimeter. It's the radius on both of them to 1 centimeter. Now once you have done this, that's usually it. That's usually all I do for the text. So once you have done that, go ahead and just make sure you're selecting on the layer and hit Control or Command C. And hit Control or Command V depending if you're on Mac or Windows. So once you have copy and pasted your layer, go ahead and just go to this icon and get Atom Array. So once you have Atom Array, go ahead and select your duplicated layer and just drag it onto Atom Array. So once you have dragged it onto Atom Array, go ahead and just select the Atom Array, and it should be on Object, but if it's not, just go ahead and click on Object and go ahead and change this to 1 centimeter and this one to 1 centimeter as well. So go ahead and zoom out. I'm also just going to center it, so you can do that if you want. Oops. To center it, all you have to do is hold Shift and select the other layer and just go ahead and make sure you're on your selection tool and just drag it into the middle and drag it down. So it's centered. Just about. Alright. So once you have gotten to this part, go ahead and just find a material you would like to use and just test out your materials. So for me, I'm probably going to use this material, and you're going to need to use 2 materials. I'll explain that later, but go ahead and just find a material you would like to use and put it on your MoText, your first one. Alright, so once you have put it on, go ahead and just pre-render it and see what it looks like. So I already know what this one looks like, but this is probably the one I'm going to be using in this tutorial, but go ahead and just find one that you like. Now I'm probably just going to use this one. So once you have found a material you want to use, just go ahead and delete the material, because we are not there yet. So now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and make sure you're selected on your text layer and go and click Plugins, Nitroblast, and Nitroblast Main. So from here, go ahead and change this to high and change the pieces to 50. Once you have done this, click Fracture. So once it's done fracturing, you'll see this little plus button here. So once it's done, you can go ahead and exit this out. So once you have fractured your layer, you should click the plus button and you should see this. So once you see this, you are good to go. So now what you want to do is you just want to minimize that and go ahead and select this layer, and it will change to blue. Now you have 2 materials on this, and what you want to do is you want to change the materials to whatever material you would like. So the one you tested out before. Now I'm actually probably going to use this one just because I didn't really like that one. This one looks better. So I'm probably just gonna go ahead and use this one. So drag your material to replace the blue one, and it should replace. So now it should be blue. Now go ahead, and I always recommend this material. It's in the material pack that I downloaded that is in the link in the description. So if you don't download it, you can go ahead and just use any material, but I highly recommend this material. It's a nice grungy look, so this is the one I'm going to be using. Now I'm just going to go ahead and drag it onto this yellow one here, and yeah, so once you have done that, go ahead and select these materials and go ahead and change this to cubic, which it's already on cubic, and check to seamless. So check seamless, and yeah, so that's pretty much it for now. Alright, so now what you guys want to do is you guys want to go to MoGraph, and you want to go to fracture. Now once you go to fracture, you just want to make sure you're selected on it, and you want to drag all these pieces in. So to do that, just go ahead and click MoText and go ahead and just click this plus button. Just keep hitting it until you see these pieces. Go ahead, select the first one, scroll down till you see the last one, hit shift, click, and it should select them all. So once you have selected them all, just go ahead and drag it into the fracture folder here. And that's pretty much it. So now what you guys want to do is you guys want to make sure you're selected on the fracture part. Now this part is really important or else it will not work. Make sure it is this shade of yellow, and go ahead and click MoGraph, Effector, and click Random. Now once you click Random, it should look like this. Now once you're here, go ahead and just make this lower. I usually put it around 8 to 10, depends on how you want it to look. So I think that looks pretty good, but I'm actually going to just preview it. Go ahead and just preview it by clicking this button to see how it looks. It may take a little bit, so just go ahead and make sure it looks good. Alright, so I think it looks good. So this is what it's going to look like. I really like it. So that's pretty much it for the text part. Now I'm just going to do the background here. And now pretty much you're just going to do the same thing, but you are going to just do it a little bit differently. I'll show you guys how to do it. So what you guys want to do is you guys want to click this cube icon, and you want to click landscape. So once you have clicked that, you go ahead and make sure you're selected on the landscape here, and go down and check spherical. So once you have selected spherical, go ahead and just make sure on your selection tool here and move it back to where it's behind the letter. So just move it right to where it's behind the letter, and go ahead and shrink it just a little bit if you want. So I'm just going to shrink it down a little bit to about there, and I'm just gonna drag it up a bit. So what I usually do is I usually like drag it towards like sticking out, and just keep dragging it back a little bit at a time until it's still like on it kind of. So now it look like the S is stuck in the block. And I forgot to mention that you can rotate your text. So to rotate it, you actually have to select your fracture layer, since I already put it in the fracture folder, and just hold shift down and select these 3 layers and go ahead and rotate it, and it all should rotate at once. So rotate it, see how you like it. I'm probably just gonna rotate it. I really kind of like that, how it's looking like that. Maybe just keep rotating it until you see how you like it. So I'll be back once it's done. Alright guys, so I've rotated it and pre-rendered it, and this is how it's gonna look. So I really like how this positioning looks. It looks like it's stuck in the text a little, or not, it looks like the text is stuck in the little ball in the back. So I really like how that looks. Now what you guys are gonna do from here, so once you have it positioned and everything, you guys just wanna find another material to use, and yeah, so pretty much we're just gonna do the same thing before. Now I'm probably just gonna use the same material I did for the S, but I'm just going to reverse the order on Nitro Blast. So I'll just show you guys how to do that. So pretty much what you're going to do is you are going to do the same thing you did last time. So what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to select the landscape, and you're going to go to plugins, Nitro Blast, and click Nitro Blast main. So from here, go ahead and just change this to high again, the quality to high, and set this to about 200 pieces, and click fracture. Alright, so once it's fractured, again, it will be how it was the last time with the text. You can go ahead and close this out, and yeah, so from here, you just want to apply your materials. Now, I'm just going to reverse the order what I did last time. So what I mean by that is I'm going to have the blue one on the yellow one, and then this one on the blue one. So this will kind of look like a concrete kind of, or stone, and then it'll be cracked and have like blue inside of it. So that's the goal I'm looking for here with the background. So I'm going to go ahead and drag this layer on the blue one, I believe. Yeah. And then go ahead and drag the blue one on the yellow one. So this is what it'll look like, but it'll be cracked. So let's do that now. So again, just go ahead and click MoGraph, or select this, click MoGraph, and make sure this is selected, or else it will not work, it'll mess up. And click fracture. So once you have clicked fracture, go ahead and just drag the pieces. Actually, go ahead and select these again and check seamless to make the quality better, and then you can go ahead and just drag them into the fracture folder. Alright, so once this is into the fracture folder, go ahead and make sure it's this tone of yellow. Make sure you select it on it again, otherwise it won't work. Go ahead and click MoGraph and click Effector and click Random. So it'll look like this. Now what you can do is you can lower the strength to whatever you want. I guess it really depends on how much you want it to be cracked, how wide you want the gap in the crack to be. So I'm gonna try 20 and render out, see what it looks like. And if it looks good, then that's pretty much it. But if it doesn't look good, then I'll just keep readjusting it until it looks good. Alright guys, so this is what it's looking like rendered and everything. So I like it, but I want to make it a little bit more spread out, the crack a little bit thicker or wider. So I'm just gonna raise the strength up to maybe 25 and call it good. So that's pretty much it for the Cinema 4D part. So once you are satisfied with everything looks good, you want to go ahead and click this button and click save. Now what you guys want to do is you guys want to make sure you're saving it to your pictures folder, and you are naming it whatever you want. So I'm just going to write S logo and click save. Now what you guys want to do is you guys want to go back to output, make sure this is 1920 by 1080, and yeah, so that's pretty much it for the render settings. Now you go ahead and just click this button and it will start to render. Now once it's done rendering, I'll see you guys in Photoshop. So yeah, I'll see you guys back in Photoshop. Alright guys, so I am in Photoshop now. So once you're in Photoshop, go ahead and click File and click New. Once you're here, go ahead and just name this whatever you want. So I'm just going to type in 3D logo, and then change the width and height to 500 pixels, and then the rest is just the default, so go ahead and just click OK. So once you're here, go ahead and click File and click Open. Once you are here, go ahead into your pictures or wherever you save your file and just go ahead and open it up. So once you open your file, just simply drag it over to your logo area here, and from here you can just go ahead and center it. So I think that's about good. Maybe down a little bit lower, and yeah, I think that's about good. So really there's not much in Photoshop that I do, but really all I do is just do CC, and then that's really it, really, just CC. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up a graphics pack. I'll also link this one in the description. I really like the CC in this graphics pack, so that's what I'm gonna be using. So just go ahead and just hit this down arrow, click the CC, make sure you're on your selection layer here, and just drag it onto your layer here. So I really like how that looks. It looks really clean, really nice. Make sure it's on top of your layer here. And another thing I like to do is to copy and paste or duplicate this layer here, and go ahead and click filter and click filter gallery, and just click OK. From here I usually set it to overlay, but you can mess around with these other blending modes here and see what you like, but I always go with overlay, and then I just raise or lower the opacity a ton. So I usually stick around 30, and it just makes it pop more and it makes it darker. But yeah, that's really it for this logo. Another thing I've done in the past on a logo similar to this is go in this same graphics pack and just find lightning, and then just find one that you like. I really like this one, so I'm going to use this one for an example, and just drag it in. And then just make sure you're selected on this layer and hit Control U and just change the color to match your theme here. So I'm just gonna find a nice blue. I'm gonna say that will work. And then just simply drag it onto the outline, so like right there is perfect. And then go ahead and just grab your brush or your eraser tool and make sure the hardness is on 0. Size doesn't really matter, and then just, you know, erase around it where it doesn't belong. Yeah, so like that. And yeah, you can just keep doing that if you want. Also, a huge tip I have is to be creative. This is what I do, but if you guys have a sick idea and you really have a good idea, go ahead and just try it. Yeah, I really highly recommend you guys being creative and trying new things, and if anything, it's helping you. So that's it, guys. That's pretty much it for this video. This is how I make my 3D logos in Cinema 4D and Photoshop. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a fat like on this video. This has been Instinct signing off for now. Peace.